Good morning, Year 5. Hope everybody's all right on this Monday morning. Here we are, ready for some more maths for the week. So here we go. Let Mrs. Large share her screen and we will get started. Let me just get up my PowerPoint. Okay. So here we are. We are learning today and tomorrow about translation. Now, translation is all about how we move shapes around. And you can see that Bella on the picture, she has been drawing an aerial diagram of her bedroom. So she's got her bed, her desk, a table and a wardrobe. So it's almost like she's looked down from the top. And that's where all of those parts of her room are kept. Now then, she has now said that she is going to slide her bed 5 squares to the left. So we're going to be looking in a minute about what the new position of Bella's bed will be. And then after that, she decides to move the table and she slides it 8 squares to the right and 6 squares down. Where will the table be now? So we're going to have a look at that on the next page. Now, when we move a shape across a grid, it's called a translation. That means it's moving to a new position. Now, Bella had said that she moves her desk 5 places to the left. Now, sometimes people get a little bit confused about which part of the shape is moving, but it is the whole shape that's moving. And the easiest way to do it is to choose a corner. Remember, we learned last week about a vertex is where 2 lines meet. So it's where that vertex moves, and in this case it's moving 5 squares to the left. So you can see on the diagram here, let me get my pointer a minute, I think that might make it a little bit easier. So you can just see here where if we look at the vertex A, if we move that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares to the left, that's the new vertex of where her bed is moving to. We can do that with every single corner. Now, sometimes it says here a common mistake is to think that there must be a gap of 5 between the old position and the new position. And that's not the case. It's just making sure if it says 5 places to the left, you move each vertex that many times. So actually, if it moves 5 squares to the left, it's going to be straight above the table. Now, her next question was that she decided to move the table. And now this time she's moving it 2 places. She's moving it 8 squares to the right and then 6 squares down. Now, the important thing to remember here is that if you are translating a shape, it's going to move left or right first, and then it's going to move up or down afterwards. So if we were to look at her table, it's moving 8 squares to the right. So again, I would think about making sure I look at the vertex each corner at a time and move them 8 squares to the right. And then once you've moved it 8 squares to the right, you would then move it the 6 squares down, so that you can see that the table would now be in the bottom right hand corner of her room near to the desk. So if I just change my pointer a little minute, I'm just going to use my highlighter. So I'm just going to highlight here, that's that vertex. So I would go 8 to the right, sorry, yes, to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this is going to come 6 squares down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can see that that is the same vertex as the original triangle. And what you can do is then think of each vertex at a time. I would then move this one and I'd go 8 squares across and 6 squares down, and you should see the shape form in the same way underneath. Okay, so the desk is translated in a new position shown by the dotted lines. Now you've got to describe the translation. So this is now saying this is where the desk started and it's moved to here. So how many squares has it moved? Now remember, some people might just think, well, there's 1 square gap, but we've got to think of each vertex of the desk. How many squares has that moved? And in this case, it's moving up, isn't it? How many has it moved up to get to its new position? So it's gone 1, 2, 3. So the desk has moved 3 squares upwards, would be my answer for this one. Now here are a few different shapes on this one, looking at the translation of square A to B and from B to A. Now, if we were starting at A first, we're going to start at this one. How has it got from A to B? How has it been translated? So I'm going to use this vertex on A, okay, and I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to think, first of all, well, it's come. Now remember, are we thinking down or are we thinking across first? We have to go across, don't we? It's a little bit the same as coordinates. Do you remember we always went across the corridor before we could go up the stairs? So again, this time, sorry, I've made a bit of a splodge there. I'm going to go 1 to the left, and then I'm going to go 1, 2 squares down. So my answer from A to B would be 1 left and 2 squares down. Now, if I was going in the other direction, obviously my translation is going to be different. I'm just going to get my that out. Look. So this time I'm now going to start from B. Now, if I start at B, I'm going to use my pen this time, and I'm going to go from this corner here. So I'm going to go across first. So for this corner here, I'm looking up here, aren't I? So I'm going to go 1 to the right, and then I'm going to go 1, 2 up. So from B to A, I would go 1 right and 2 up. So here, this would say 1, oopsie, pen's not working, 1, I'm not going to try and write right because it would just be a bit of a mess, and 2 up. So always remember, the key thing here is that you do the left and the right first and the up and the down second when we're looking at a translation. Now, this is the same map from C to D. Maybe what you should do is give me a pause and have a go at this yourself, and we can see what answers that we get. Okay, so just press pause and then you can come back and we'll have a look at them together. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go. The first part of the question is saying from C to D. So I'm going to look at this bottom vertex of C, and I'm going to think, right, I'm going 1, 2, 3 right, and I'm shifting across this way, and then I'm coming 1, 2. Now, do I stop there? Some people stop there. Is that correct? No, it's not, is it? Because that's the top corner of D. I'm moving the bottom corner of C, so be really careful with that. So I've gone 2 down, but I'm not quite there, so I've got to go 3, 4 down. So from C to D, I'm going to go 3, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a capital 3 right, and then I'm going 4 down. I'll just do the letter because I think if I try and write the whole world, will be here all day. Okay, right, now let's have a look from the other direction. Now remember, let me get my rubber first of all, sorry, before I show you, because otherwise we'll get confused with all these lines, won't we? There we go, that's better. All right, so here we go. So from D, let's start with the same corner, shall we? Just to see what happens. So this corner here is going back to this corner here. But this time I'm moving 1, 2, 3, but I'm going left this time, aren't I? So I'm going to try and write that in here. So I've gone 3, bit of a wonky 3. This time I've gone left. And how many am I going up? I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So 4 up. Now, the next question says, what do you notice? Now, I think the thing that I really notice is that they're moving the same number across, but from C to D, it's going right and down, and then from D to C, it's going left and then up. So it's like the directions are just going in an opposite way. All right, here's your work for today. So this is from your Power Maths books. Now, if you have got your books, great. Written on the slide here, you're looking at pages 102 to 104, and this is all about translation. You're going to be moving the shapes, putting them in different positions, and then you're going to have a go at describing some different translations. Okay, now if you haven't got your Power Maths books, like always, I've emailed the sheets that you can print out and do them on there. So either way is fine, and remember to please send me some photos and email any questions that you've got. All right, good luck and have a great day, and I'll see you